When Clint Eastwood steps on screen, it's never just the man you notice. It's the silence, the stare, and the iron he carries on his hip. His guns didn't just shoot bullets, they defined characters, built legends, and shaped entire eras of Hollywood. So today, we're counting down 10 of Clint Eastwood's most iconic movie guns. The ones that didn't just appear in his films, they stole the damn show. Number 10, the Colt Single Action Army, the Man with No Name trilogy, 1964 to 1966. The gun that started it all, known as the Peacemaker. This six-shooter wasn't just a prop, it was an extension of Eastwood's soul in Sergio Leone's spaghetti westerns. The brass frame, the smooth draw, the way he fanned the hammer like time itself stood still. Perfection. The West didn't end. It moved on to film and barred Clint Eastwood's squint. The dust, the silence, the half-smile before something violent. That's where the guns live now. Not in armory ledgers or patent drawings, but in the way a holster creaks when he stands up to leave a room nobody wants him to leave. In the spaghetti West, his iron looks worn on purpose. Grip smooth by miles. Finish rubbed thin by bad weather and worse company. It hangs low, loose, like it trusts him more than it trusts the law. He doesn't brag about it. He never needs to. The camera does the talking. Slow push to leather, a heartbeat, a glance, and then the sun-hot flash that writes a man's fate before he hits the ground. The steel in his hand is less a tool than a ritual. Cock, breathe, end the sentence. Move a few decades forward and the streets are paved, but the stare hasn't softened. The hat's gone, the poncho folded away. Now the weight on his hip is city metal. Bigger bark, colder shine. The gun is a dare everybody else keeps losing. It isn't just firepower, it's punctuation. Every time he draws, it's the period at the end of a paragraph you thought might go on forever. He asks a question no one wants answered out loud, and the cylinder answers for him. Even when the wars are far behind him and the porch is home, there's still a rifle in the dark that belongs to another life. He keeps it close the way old men keep secrets. Oiled, ready, not eager. He knows what it costs to earn the quiet. He knows how quickly that quiet can be sold. When he finally steps into the light without pulling a trigger, you understand the trick he's been doing the whole time. The weapon was never the point, the will was. Across all these eras, dusty border towns, neon boulevards, rain-slick alleys, the iron at his side is never just a prop. This revolver became the ultimate symbol of the American anti-hero. Quiet, precise, and deadly. Number 9, the Smith & Wesson Model 29, Dirty Harry, 1971. Do you feel lucky, punk? With that one line, a revolver stopped being a tool and became a dare. Eastwood lifts the Smith & Wesson Model 29 like it's a verdict, and the whole theater leans back. The .44 Magnum wasn't practical for everyday cops, and that's exactly why it worked on screen. It looked like pure willpower and blued steel. After Dirty Harry, 1971, gun counters across America learned a new kind of silence. Empty shelves. The 8 3/8-inch barrels vanished first, the long-nosed silhouette that turned a profile shot into a poster. People bought them on Legend, fired 6 rounds, and realized Legend kicks hard. Many of those guns came back to the cases with only a cylinder's worth of stories in them. Proof that the line between cinema and recoil is wider than a movie screen. But Eastwood never played it like a fetish. He wore the 29 the way he wears a squint, an extension of judgment. The holster creaks, the camera drifts, and suddenly the gun is punctuation at the end of a sentence you hoped wouldn't end. In his hands, it's not about ballistics, it's about authority. The city's mean, the law is tired, and here comes a man who makes chaos nervous. That's the magic of Harry Callahan's iron. It isn't just the biggest voice in the room, it's the one that doesn't need to shout. And the ripple was real. The Model 29 became the most famous revolver in America, not because shooters needed it, but because audiences believed it. Eastwood's calm turned weight into swagger, recoil into ritual, and a long-barreled .44 into a cultural landmark. Half a century later, the silhouette still does all the talking. One raise of the muzzle and you remember the line, not because it's clever, but because it felt like the moment movies learned how to stare you down. Number 8, the Winchester Model 1892, Unforgiven, 1992. By the time Unforgiven rides in, Eastwood's not playing a gunslinger, he's playing a consequence. The iron he shoulders isn't there to look pretty or prove a point. It's a weight he's carried too long, a promise he tried to bury with the man he used to be. When William Money lifts that rifle, you can feel the years in it. Not glory, but ghosts. The room goes quiet because everybody understands This isn't about speed or style anymore. It's about what violence does to a soul that's run out of excuses. Jump back to the poncho years and the gun is a gambler's grin. In the spaghetti west, the revolver hangs low and lazy, like it's in on the joke before the town is. Eastwood doesn't telegraph, he breathes. The holster creaks, the eyes narrow, and the shot arrives half a beat after the decision. Those showdowns made leather and steel feel like fate, the moment when a man writes his own ending in dust and daylight. Then the streets get paved and the hat comes off. Dirty Harry swaps coy standoffs for a city that won't stop bleeding. The long-barreled hand cannon at his side isn't there to be practical, it's there to be undeniable. In Eastwood's hands, it becomes punctuation, the period at the end of a sentence the bad guys keep trying to stretch. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't need to. The gun is authority distilled. One draw, one question, one answer nobody wants to hear. Across decades, his guns aren't props, they're biographies. Frontier peace is carried like confessions. Big city iron worn like a warning. Long guns kept the way old men kept secrets. Oiled, out of sight, never out of mind. The metal changes, the message doesn't. Mercy is expensive, choices echo, and when he finally pulls the trigger, it isn't style, it's judgment. Number 7, the Spencer Rifle, the Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976. The Spencer Rifle, the Outlaw Josie Wales, 1976. If Josie Wales ever had a best friend, it'd be the battered Spencer Rifle. Not a sidekick, a companion in vengeance. A weapon that doesn't ask questions, it just remembers who fired it last. The Spencer wasn't some shiny toy out of the gunsmith's shop. It was the kind of rifle that looked like it'd been dragged through every bad decision a man could make. And yet, in Eastwood's hands, it moved with poetry. Fast, steady, ruthless. When Wales reloads mid-conversation, he doesn't flinch, doesn't blink, doesn't break eye contact. It's pure cowboy theater, a man speaking fluently in lead. That little click between his words means something. Every round sliding in says, I've still got work to do. What made the Spencer perfect for Josie Wales wasn't its design, it's what it represented. The world around him was burning, families gone, trust gone, honor buried somewhere out on the trail. That rifle, that was loyalty made of iron. A weapon that understood silence, understood loss, and didn't judge the man holding it. When Eastwood shoulders it, you feel the weight, not of metal but of memory. Every pull of the lever's a heartbeat, every shot a confession. There's no triumph in it, only necessity. And that's what makes it different from all the pretty movie guns that came before. Number 6, the Sharps 1874 rifle, Pale Rider 1985. There's something biblical about Pale Rider, a mysterious preacher, a haunted past, and a Sharps 1874 that sounds like thunder from the heavens. One pull of the trigger, and you knew divine justice had arrived. That rifle didn't just fire, it spoke. Number 5, the M1 Garand Heartbreak Ridge 1986. Eastwood is Gunnery Sergeant Tom Highway, the Marine who could scare fear itself. M1 Garand, the rifle that won World War II, was his old partner. It wasn't fancy, it wasn't new, but when Highway said, "This is my rifle, there are many like it, but this one is mine," you believed it. It wasn't nostalgia, it was respect. Number 4, the Winchester Model 1894 Gran Torino 2008. The Winchester on Walt Kowalski's wall is a memory with a working bolt, a lever action that still knows how to speak. It's the Model 1894, born when smokeless powder changed the game and Winchester paired John Browning's improved lever action with the new 30-30 cartridge. That little combination, a smokeless 30 caliber round that balanced power, recoil, and range, is exactly what made the 94 the yardstick for hunting rifles. By the time the factory finally closed for a stretch, Winchesters of this model had rolled out in the millions. There's a reason the 1894 is the rifle people imagine when they think old America. You see that in the way Eastwood treats it. Not a museum piece, but a tool shaped by purpose. The gun exists in many shapes. A short 20-inch carbine for tight work, a 24, 26-inch standard rifle for general use, even a 30-inch musket for those who wanted reach. And there were takedown versions made for easy travel. Its nickel steel barrel was stamped for smokeless powder, and its lever cycles like someone reciting a prayer. Efficient, reliable, and without fuss. That's practical detail and poetry wrapped in one. When Walt finally lifts it, the mechanics don't matter nearly as much as the consequence. The cartridge, the action, the worn wood, and the slight pitch of the stock, those are the things that whisper his history. The Winchester specs are not trivia here. They're the tools that let the rifle do its real work. Old meaning, old memory, and call the last act when it's time. Number 3, the Colt 1911 A1 Bloodwork, 2002. This was a more modern Eastwood, an aging FBI profiler still packing a Colt 1911. It's classic, American, and brutally efficient, just like Clint in his later years. Every time he chambered around, you could feel the weight of decades in his eyes. Number 2, the Remington 1858 High Plains Drifter 1973. A ghost, a drifter, and a gun that kills without mercy. The Remington 1858 fit the tone of this movie perfectly. Cold, reliable, and somehow otherworldly. The scene where he paints the whole town red and strolls through it, revolver in hand. Chills. Absolute chills. Number 1, the Smith & Wesson Model 29, again. Sudden Impact 1983. Yeah, it's back because nothing beats this hand cannon in Clint's hands. Go ahead, make my day. That line wasn't just a threat. It was a challenge to every action hero that came after. Arnold, Stallone, Willis, they all tried, but nobody ever was Clint Eastwood.